Hello, lovely witches. This is Dawn from Aurora Dawn. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. And today, I forgot to check. I think it's part 6. This is it's part 1 through 6 is probably going to go to part 7. This is the first 3 classes of my Self-Mastery for Witches course. And this is something that I'm giving away because it's all about dealing with emotions and how to nurture yourself and protect yourself. And what that I think is going to help is for anyone who has got a lot of anxiety about this pandemic and having to stay home and things are not normal. You can't go out to the grocery store without putting a mask on and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of anxiety. I know I've felt a lot of it. And so I want to give this away because it has helped me tremendously. And I want it to help you as well. And that's my goal. That's what I'm hoping to do here. Okay, so this is the 3rd class. And this is about nurturing your own emotional needs. And what I mean by that is when we were children, when we were babies, we looked to mom and dad to nurture us and to support us and to be there for us. And if we were scared, there was mom or dad or both were there to hold us and to make us feel better. But the problem is that a lot of our parents were neurotic and had a lot of toxic beliefs themselves, and they weren't taught how to nurture their own emotional needs, so they couldn't teach us when we were children. So now as adults, we continue to look to other people to nurture our emotional needs. And where that becomes a problem is when, say, oh, I'm lonely, I don't have anybody in my life, I'm not married, I don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or I don't have any close friends, and so I feel lonely. And that becomes a problem because you are not getting the nurturing for your emotional needs that you are looking for in other people, and then you feel lonely. So what happens is there's low self-esteem that develops, there's a lack of self-confidence, a bad self-image starts, well, actually this is, if you're experiencing lonely now, this is started when you were a child, most likely. Oops, sorry, trying to reposition myself here, sorry about that. But most likely it started at a very, very young age. And you just build on top of that and reaffirm I'm lonely, reaffirm there's nobody out there for me, reaffirm there's nobody to make me happy. And what I want to teach you today is that you can nurture your own emotional needs so you don't need other people in your life to make you happy. And that is so, so very important. Okay, so I got my notes here. So this is chapter 3 in the manual. Really, what people are looking for, the reason why people act out or act in, and acting out, that's easy. You know, they're throwing things, they're yelling and screaming, and you know, you're an idiot, you're terrible, you make me feel bad, and you go on the rampage and attack. You're acting out. Maybe passive aggressive could be also lumped into there. It's a way of acting out because you're attacking the other person even though you're not yelling and screaming and throwing things. And acting in is where you know, basically it's my fault, I'm a terrible person, I'm beating myself up, so I'm acting in. And I'm holding all those emotions in instead of expressing them. And expressing them is not always good because you're basically throwing up on other people and you're making it about other people. You're finding fault with other people. And so that's not the truth of what's really happening. So that's why you have to process your emotions to get the things cleared out so you can see objectively what is really happening here. Why am I so upset? Because you are, I say this a lot, and I feel it's so true. You are an energetic match to whatever is showing up in your life. And if you don't like what's showing up in your life, shadow work is the answer. Because you have to draw the dots, connect the dots to what is inside my subconscious mind that is making me an energetic match. So in my subconscious mind, I was taught things, and those programs, those teachings, those beliefs are there in my subconscious that will come forward when they're triggered and control my behavior. So it's important to be able to connect the dots. Okay, but that's later in the course. Before you get into pulling up all that toxic stuff in your subconscious mind, which is going to bring up the traumatic experiences and all the emotional baggage that comes with it, you need to learn how to deal with the emotions and how to nurture yourself so you can handle those things when they come up, when you dig them up. Okay, so no matter where you go for shadow work, if you decide to go with me and work with me, great. If not, go find somebody else. If you want to do it on your own, you can do that. It's going to take a lot longer because what makes it faster is having somebody, a life coach like myself, or somebody who is a psychology, psychiatry. They're very familiar with how the mind works. They can help you see objectively. Okay, that's important because no matter how old you are, that's how long your ego has been using these erroneous, misunderstood belief systems that are based on, twisted information, not quite understood properly because you were too young. But the ego is using that to try and keep you safe. So you need somebody who's objective to say, oh, no, that looks like your ego. We're going to need to fix that. Okay, it says I'm live. We had a little blip, and I am hoping everything is okay and we're still recording. So I'm going to continue, crossing my fingers. Okay, so I want to get into the benefits of nurturing your emotional needs. What that does for you is it makes you feel safe and secure. And that's important because look around us. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and we all have to shelter in place, right? We got to stay home. And if you have to go out to get groceries or something like that, what are you touching? Who are you talking to? How close are you? Don't touch your face. And that's like impossible to do. Don't touch your face. So there's a lot of fear going on. And then on my Facebook page, oh my God, people freaking out about Trump, people freaking out about a new world order, freaking out about martial law. We're being told to stay home. Oh my God, that's martial law. They're going to take over and they're going to take our jobs away, and they're going to tell us, we have to stand in a bread line for hours to get our food, and we're going to end up like Venezuela. And there's just so much fear about the deep state doing things, conspiracy theories. And I'm not saying none of that is real or true, or any of it's all hokum. I can't say that for sure, because there are signs, and I would imagine people in power would do something to increase their own power. So I'm not going to say there's nothing going on here. But what I want to talk about is that there's so much fear that we're looking at the fear. We're consumed by the fear, and it's throwing us off. You're not looking within to ways to nurture yourself, make yourself feel calm and feel good. We're going to get through this, but at the same time, I would hope that you would feel good enough and confident and safe enough that you can work on yourself and make yourself better. Use this time to meditate. Use this time to build yourself up and to reach out to other people. Keep in touch with people and build them up and make them feel safe. Okay, so this is about feeling loved and feeling nurtured, because you are the only person in the universe. In the universe. Not that there are people on other planets, but that's another video, right? But you are the only person who can nurture your emotional needs. So it's up to you to learn how to do this and practice it. All right? You will develop inner peace. Your self-confidence is going to go way up. Your self-worth, your self-image is going to go up. You're going to feel good because of this exercise that I'm going to share with you and teach you. Okay, so nurturing your emotional needs is going to make you feel healthy, happy, feel safe. Because when you don't feel safe when you're a kid, what do? You crawl in bed with mom and dad, right? And they're going to hold you and make you feel safe. When you feel safe, you feel comfortable. You feel comforted. And that's very, very important. When you see all this stuff on Facebook or, wherever you get your alternative news, you're going to see a lot of stuff about, the deep state and what's going on. And maybe it's true. Maybe some of it is true. Maybe there's a little speck of truth that they're really trying to control us, and that they're using this pandemic as an opportunity to roll out, their agenda. Maybe it is true. What can you do about it? Sitting at home, freaking out, and spreading fear is not the answer. Our government is a reflection of the people. Now, if the people were to do, all of us do our shadow work and grow and become stronger and more courageous and more self-confident, what would happen to our government? Our government would change. So can you imagine, somebody in Congress and gets a lobbyist in his office and, no, that's not good for the people. Get out of my office. Wouldn't that be awesome? That more of that would happen if we, the people, became more conscious and more self-nurtured. Okay, so I kind of want to move on to, let's see, being an allower. All right, I've talked about this before. And I think there's a misunderstanding about being an allower and protecting your boundaries. I think there's just some people who believe that if I am an allower, and I'm trying to allow people to be whoever they want to be and express themselves whatever way. If they want to be, same-sex marriage, great. Be an allower and let people live their lives. But it does not mean that if you have a family member who is constantly sucking your energy, constantly pulling on you, constantly making you feel bad about yourself, making you feel guilty, then being an allower does not mean you allow that person to continue to harm you and abuse your boundaries. What an allower does is say, okay, you can be whatever kind of person you want to be, but if you're going to be harmful, you stay away. Here's my boundary. You stay away from me. I am not talking to you. I am not going to interact with you. I had to do that with my mom. Things got very, very toxic. Oh, but it's your mother. What if she died and you didn't clear that up? It's okay. It's okay. There's an afterlife. I can talk to people after they die. I talked to my aunt when she passed away. I talked to my dad when he passed away. I've talked to other people that have passed away. We can patch things up afterwards. And really, after they die, then they realize, oh my gosh, I was such an ass. I'm sorry. And they can patch things up. You don't have to become a welcome mat just because they're family. You don't have to allow them to abuse you just because they're family. You still have to protect your boundary, and it's the hardest with family because they've grown up with you and they've abused you all your life, taken advantage of you all your life. So it's really hard to say, okay, enough is enough. They're not going to respect that. They're going to keep pounding at your boundaries to continue to abuse you, and you may have to cut them off. You may have to unfriend them off of Facebook and block them all across the social media and not respond to their text messages and not respond to their phone calls. You might have to do that. And it's for your best interest, your best, your good, your whatever is good for you. And this is where the sacrificing to be unselfish comes in. You know, you're going to feel guilty on being selfish. This is family. What if they die and we didn't patch things up? And you know what? They did not want to respect your boundaries. So you had to put them out of your life. And if they want to return, they have to fix that. Okay? They have to treat you the way you want to be treated. And if they can't do that, you push them out of your life. You have to protect yourself. Okay? Hopefully that comes across. You can understand that. Okay? So being an allower is different from being an enabler. Okay? And so say you have a friend who has a gambling problem, and they're constantly borrowing money from people. They've run out of their savings, and maybe they sold their car, and now they need more money because they're, upside down in their debts and whatnot. So they come to you. Hey, Dawn, I need some money. And I say, you know what? You are my friend. I love you like a sister or a brother. If you need food, come over. I'll cook you dinner. Let's spend some time together. But I'm not giving you money. Because giving them money enables them to continue their problem, their addiction. So, if you're an alcoholic and you're my friend and you get cleaned up, or even not, you're not going to get alcohol from me. You can come over and visit. I am not going to give you wine. We have wine and beer and other things, liquor here, but we drink responsibly. And if I have a friend that comes over who's an alcoholic, I am not giving them alcohol. Okay? I'm not going to be an enabler. I will help them, support them, help them get free of that. And I will be their friend. I will support them. Whatever is necessary to help them become a better person, but I'm not going to feed their addiction. All right. Do what makes you feel good. You hear me end my videos with do something today that brings you joy and makes you feel good. In my class, I require my students to make a list of 10 things. 10 things that you can do. And these are little things like a cup of tea. Make your favorite cup of tea. And so, read a book. That's one of my favorite ones. Work on a hobby, crafts and things like that. That is huge. Making that time. Okay, this is my time to have fun. I'm going to sit here and work my craft, whatever it is. There are loads of tutorials on YouTube. So if you're into something like mixed media art, there are a ton of tutorials out there on how to do that. And it's just loads of fun. So doing something, taking the time to do something that feels good, that brings you joy, is going to boost your confidence in yourself. And you're going to feel valuable, and you're going to feel nurtured and supported. And it's coming from you, so it's really going to have an impact. All right, so this is very, very important. So I would encourage you very strongly to make a list of things that you can do to bring you joy and make you feel good. All right, and there's simple things like take a bubble bath. Now, I'm not big on bubble baths, but Epsom salts and essential oils and herbs in the bath, that's, and put up candles and maybe bring a laptop in there and play some jazz and just relax for a while. That takes a lot of work. So the impact is even greater. I am taking this time to clean the tub, get the candles out, get my laptop out, and a glass of wine, and all the herbs and the Epsom salts and everything. I'm going to really make this nice really make this special. So when I soak in the tub, I'm going to feel really relaxed and nurtured and feel good about myself. So keep that in mind. And another one on my list is reorganize your closet. Now, some people, maybe you've got that gift of organization that you love to tear out a closet, everything in the closet, and reorganize it. And if that makes you feel good, great. For me, actually doing it is frustrating because I have a hard time organizing. I missed out on that gene. Uh, but after it's done, I feel really, really good. And I feel really good that I took the time to actually do it. And so I look for how does it make me feel afterwards. Just like the soaking in the tub. It took a lot of time and effort and energy to get the tub ready. And so doing all of that just to make myself feel good, my feeling of value goes up. My feeling of self-confidence, self-worth, all of that goes way up. So I urge you to make this list and keep anything unhealthy or that costs a lot of money off your list, all right? Because spending money can be stressful. So, and eating unhealthy, like a big bowl of ice cream, even though it would bring you joy for a little while, afterwards it's not going to feel so good. And the sugar could be a bad impact on your health. And so eventually later it's not going to feel so good. But if you have, any addictions where you go shopping, you're a shopaholic, or you're obsessed with how you look, or if you're addicted to sex, or whatever your method of trying to make yourself feel better, look at those things, and if they're unhealthy and it's an addiction like alcohol and drugs or something, then look to this list to replace those things, because you're turning to drugs, to alcohol, whatever your vice is, to make you feel good. And if you nurture your emotional needs instead, like, okay, I want to quit cigarettes. I really want a cigarette right now. Nurture your emotional needs. Look at your list. Do something on your list. I can make a cup of tea. I've got some time. I'm gonna make a cup of tea. Grab a book, and just for a half an hour or so, I'm gonna do this. And it might be not as satiating. Is that right? It may not actually fill that void that you're looking for, that you get from cigarettes, from the nicotine and all that. But it's a step in the right direction, because you're trying to nurture yourself. You're trying to feel good. That's why you're smoking the cigarettes. That's why you reach for the alcohol. You're trying to drown, if you will, your toxic emotions that are bubbling up. So you're processing your emotions, and you do this nurturing your emotional needs. It will help you overcome addictions much, much easier. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm going to make another video on this. That's we're going to talk about the inner child and the actual exercise. So I'm going to do that exercise next time. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your comments. Please let me know how this is coming across to you. Is this helpful? And so, so that I can get feedback. Do something today that brings you joy and makes you feel good. I love you all. And until next time, blessed be.